So, look, this WHO, World Health Organization, the WHO, right, that Dr. Campbell's been talking about. And then we've got all these, Biden's talking about making this new wave of vaccine compulsory in America. People aren't liking the sound of that. I don't like the sound of it either. This World Health Organization, I don't know about what these clauses that it's adding and removing or changing are, but I wrote to the WHO, right? It's United Nations. It's a United Nations a formed affiliated organisation. So I think we need to start talking about United Nations more often when we mention it, so people are clear on that. I wrote to the United Nations recently because of our ancient site, because I petitioned the council and complained to the government, right? But the thing about the ancient site is I think that it's an ancient religious site, like a lot of the sites that the archaeologists end up digging up when, who gives them permission? The local council? The United Nations is meant to have these directives that are supposed to apply in law for the protection of ancient religious sites all religious sites, meant to have protection, can't be attacked, and can't be. There are multiple directives anyway, and this is what I said about our ancient site. It says that it's unlawful to actually attack an ancient site or spoil or ruin one if it's religious. I mean, they've got certain regulations for like the Taj Mahal, like you can't fly airplanes over it, or other spiritual sites and monuments. I really don't know how the archaeologists are managing to get past these directives through local council permission when they're doing digs, particularly with all the ancient prehistoric sites which are religious. When people are buried there, they must be completely blank in the United Nations. Archaeologists seem to be able to completely pretend that United Nations religious site protection doesn't exist. Because, it's scientific interest or whatever, then they're just ignoring it. Well, the thing when it comes to these medical reasons, right, they're claiming that, now they're going to say that, if there's certain virus and biological things that we have to have it compulsory, according to the WHO, and it's trying to remove rights and so forth. Well, I think the World Health Organization might as well remove its own right to act, because the thing with all the rights and the constitution of the country, it's not actually created by the WHO. Every country has its own law and its own rights that apply in that country, and particularly like the statute law, it can't be removed or overridden. And the fact that, like George Galloway, when he's, claiming that he can't talk to Putin because of, laws that Suella Braverman made, but, well, there's United Nations laws, or just something that Suella Braverman, it was Liz Truss, conjured up. Liz Truss conjured up these, laws or whatever that George Galloway is saying that he can't do this or he can't do that. But that's not United Nations. What about United Nations directives for encouraging world peace? If you've got a United Nations directive for encouraging world peace, then wouldn't George Galloway talking to Putin be encouraging world peace if he was trying to negotiate peace deals with him, under political rights? So if the United Nations, or in brackets, World Health Organization, are doing legislation that apparently overrides countries, then why isn't this international peace legislation overriding, Liz Truss's naughty boy rules for talking to Putin? You know, why isn't the United Nations religious site protection overriding local council for archaeologists digging bones of our ancestors up out of burial sites? You know, this is it. Oh no, just a minute. Now, Simon says take the medicine. Oh, but you know, Bill of Rights, 1688 Bill of Rights, English law, enacted in England by the consent of Lord Spiritual Temporal, arise, Liz Truss. Doesn't that override the World Health Organization? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Where Liz Truss stops, no one knows. Let's say that we can't talk to Putin because that would be put you in the naughty boys corner. Oh, just a minute. It's United Nations legislation and directive encouraging world peace with foreign countries. Oh, look, here's George Galloway talking to Putin. Oh, no, Simon didn't say. Just a minute. Liz Truss says hop to the left. Liz Truss says George Galloway hop to the right. Now, right to petition, English legislation, don't talk to Putin. Oh, it's been overridden. Now the WHO is removing this clause and that clause. Oh, look, it's John Campbell with his list of clauses being added and removed from the United Nations set up WHO directives. But it doesn't seem to matter, because when Simon says, it's something like fucking Rees-Mogg, isn't it, on GB News. Rees-Mogg says, I can go on the news. Dun, 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 dun. Ofcom says, no, you can't. You know, what does the Select Committee Chairman say? You know, this is it. This is the problem with WHO and United Nations. It's only actually... The United Nations is an intergovernmental organisation whose stated purposes are to maintain international peace and security and develop friendly relations among nations, achieve international cooperation, and serve as a centre of harmonising actions of nations. Well, how is it? Isn't it creating peaceful relations with Putin if you're to interview him? And harmonising the actions of nations. And also, you know, cooperation. Achieving cooperation, what, by forcing it? Well, where's the cooperation with the archaeologists to preserve ancient sites? I don't see it happening. You know, in fact, I don't see any of them acknowledging any of those directives in the United Nations protocol. Even though I've complained about it, they're still digging up half a stone. You know, this is it. And when is something defined as a weapon and should be protected against it? You know, if people believe that they are going to be harmed by certain things, then why should they have to, you know, if it's harmful? You know, and the thing with the law in England is this, right? With harassment and discrimination, it always seems down to the interpretation of the individual. Because, you know, with harassment and so forth, if you find something annoying, you know, someone calls you 8 times, you can say it's harassment and then the police go round. But, you know, if another person doesn't find that exact same thing harassing, because they don't find it harassing, then they don't report them, like Jeremy Vine and Alex Belfield. You know, if they don't find it harassing, they don't report them. So where's that lie within the person, the interpreter, you know? So how can it come down to what the World Health Organization say is this or that, when you're reporting crime, it's down to the person whether they find it offensive or not? And as for political rights, there's nothing in England that actually can, you know, prosecute you down to being charged. You can't be imprisoned. I don't think that they can enforce these vaccine compulsory regulations in England. They might be able to do in America, but if the First Amendment is based on ours and it means the same, I don't think they can. I really don't think that they can, particularly if a lot of people start signing something. It seems to me that this United Nations is a crock of shit, because they've got all these laws and directives, but they kind of like ignore them when they want to, and then when they pretend that everyone has to do it, then it says, oh, Simon says, Well, the organisation says, but, what about all the other things that they're supposed to be enforcing? Like, now, yesterday, last week, last year, oh, no, well, and in fact, when was it even formed? 1945, that was before, Charles and the Queen organised our ancient site being built on top of. Not that, can we even prove that wasn't rigged and set up? So now we've got all these, world-level viral issues. Oh, again, same old story, something's happening. Can we quite prove who's behind it? Oh, and then surprise, surprise, just when you want to oppose something, you're now not allowed to talk about it. Wow, all these international peace and humility regulations, and they seem to be moving clauses out of it. And then again, who even voted for this United Nations? Do we elect them? They're not even elected. Who even elects them? I've never elected or voted for anyone in the United Nations. It seems that it's this child's military-style operation from beyond leaders with Chileans at the disposal, based in, they've got an office in New York, United Nations, but it said San Francisco, or it's founded in San Francisco. They have got a building in New York. We can actually petition, and actually, the thing with the United Nations is a country doesn't have to be a member of it. So effectively, all you have to do is petition for your country to leave it. Just petition for England to leave it. And to do that, we can actually override the ministers in Parliament, like leaving Europe. Nigel Farage's whole leaving the EU mission. That's European Union. So if we wanted to, we could just, say we're out. Why should we? We didn't vote or elect for these people. And if Bill Gates has literally funded half of it, and then he's popping up with Michelle Donnellan with a new Innovation and Technology Centre out of his back pocket, who even elected Bill Gates? I'm kind of sick of these jokers, even no matter how, supreme they believe they are. Basically, right, in England, you need 3 million signatures. George Galloway was well on his way to 3 million signatures to stop Tony Blair getting knighted, and then it mysteriously stopped. It's like fucking, like some sort of shooting star or comet, going towards, X million signatures, and then suddenly it just stopped. Like Tony Blair's picked up a bat phone, and then 77th Brigade just pressed a button and doop, and just all the signatures stopped and changed .org or whatever. This is the problem, So Campbell's got 2 million people potentially on his channel. Brand's got 6 million. I think Campbell might even be on his way to 3 million. Then you've got Vobes, who has got over 200,000 people, and then Neil Oliver. So it's not difficult. I wish these people would do something. Like I get sick of watching these channels because it's like, it's like getting the fucking Beatles record out and putting it on the vinyl, and Russell Brand, we must, defy these organisations and enterprises, play it again, Sam, do something, man, do something, Oh, it's like, here we go. Dr. Tess Lowry and his Vobes with his... with the consultation. Fill this government consultation in. Okay, I will. I did fill it in. I did. It's like Sylvester Sylvester, isn't it? I did fill the consultation in. I did. I filled it in. I filled that damn consultation in. And then what did Vobes say? Oh, the government seem to be backing down on digital ID now, so we all filled it in and complained. Can we see the results of the consultation? I signed Tess Lowry's petition, and then it did achieve over 100,000 signatures. But I think we need to achieve a little bit more than Dr. Tess Lowry's petition. I think we need to, and it needs to be community post in, it needs to be Campbell, community post, sign this petition, leave WHO or something along those lines if they do not agree to, stop all this compulsory rubbish. Or unless they, start letting people from the world elect them. Maybe everyone in the world has to vote in all the countries or something like that, we only need 3 million signatures in England, and I think everyone in the world would start signing, to be honest. So, I mean, it's... I get... put it this way. If Neil Oliver, right... I'll actually name people now. This is like... It's not a threat. Not a threat, but it's like, it's a grievance. Look, Oliver, right? Just simply, right... I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, get the, I just have to set this to adult now. Get the fucking petition on the community. Yeah, Neil Oliver hasn't even made one community fucking post, even though he's got his little inner circle group, right? So get the fucking petition, post it on the fucking community page group, get the video pinned to the fucking homepage on the channel, say sign the fucking petition. Get it on there, get Campbell, new video, when you first visit his channel, get the fucking link on there. Same with fucking Brand. Let's do this. 3 million signatures. George Galloway. They got, well over 1 million for Tony Blair. I think well over 1 million people and Tony Blair's knighthood are going to be a little bit more concerned about doing shit compulsory when they don't even have a say in the people who are fucking who are on there. We don't even fucking vote for these, United Nations WHO people. As fucking Bill Gates' back pocket club or whatever. So, I mean, this is something to do. A little project. I mean, look at Stop Cop City. All the public and citizens joined in Stop Cop City, right? All of them joined in, and they've all been going around collecting signatures and verifying them, and they've been doing a lot of hard work. Loads of people in the city's been getting involved. People have died, been killed by the police, for protesting. They've got over 100,000 signatures. They only needed about 50-odd, 60,000, but they're getting worried in case some of them aren't valid, so they're doing extra ones. So look, right, and one thing's this is what we're arguing about now with the political rights. Look, right, I don't care if YouTube claims it's private or not. If you are hosting a petition on your website in connection with a referendum, you can't have your channel taken down. There's no way, particularly when it is for a national referendum. And if people in America also do it, like Jimmy Dore puts it on there, if you're petitioning the White House, right, against compulsory vaccines to withdraw from the WHO unless they start letting us vote for who is on there, right, then... seriously, they can't take it down. I was saying, look, fucking Neil Mohan take it down. This is it. Freedom of the press. We the people. Oh, what's this? We the people. The First Amendment. We the people have freedom of speech. We the people have freedom to petition for redress of grievances. We the people have freedom of the press. Right? No, Neil Mohan is free to do what he wants with the press. No, we have the freedom of the press. So this is it. Just right. Draft the freaking petition and get people signing it. Simple as. Let's get 3 million signatures. Because if you can stop Cop City, you need to stop the WHO. Or, clauses in petition. We petition this government for a referendum to withdraw from the WHO effective immediately, unless we can we elect who is on there, voted for by all the members states, unless they put all these clauses back in on rights, political rights and so forth like that, put them back in, or we're going to leave. That's the referendum. The referendum is, vote to stay or leave, and you could have an option, third option, stay only on condition. The England will only stay in the WHO if it agrees to, put all those fucking rights clauses back in. I mean, who the hell do they think they are? Done. And I'd be very surprised if he didn't get 3 million signatures, to be honest. And that would get some attention, that petition. And, I'd like to see the 77th Brigade or Battalion hack it, because, the only way that they'll hack it is if, this message doesn't get to Campbell or anyone. And I'll email it to him. I'll email it to Brand.